In the heart of 20th century Europe, one man rose from military obscurity to become the iron fist of a nation. His name, Francisco Franco Bahamonde. A general. A dictator. A symbol of ruthless control and unwavering conservatism. This is the story of the man who ruled Spain with an iron grip for nearly 4 decades. Francisco Franco was born on December 4, 1892, in Ferrol, a naval town in northwestern Spain. Raised in a family with deep ties to the military, Franco was destined for a life in uniform. At just 14, he entered the infantry academy in Toledo. Quiet, disciplined, and fiercely ambitious, Franco's early years saw him deployed to Spain's North African colonies, particularly in the brutal Rif War in Morocco. There, he gained a reputation for bravery, tactical brilliance, and merciless efficiency. By 1926, he became Spain's youngest general in modern history. But while his star rose, Spain descended into chaos. The 1930s were a time of political upheaval. Monarchy gave way to the Second Spanish Republic, a fragile democracy riddled with division. On one side, liberals, socialists, and anarchists. On the other, monarchists, nationalists, and fascists. Tensions erupted in 1936. A military coup, led by Franco and other generals, sought to overthrow the Republican government. What followed was not a swift takeover, but a brutal civil war that would scar Spain for generations. The war raged from 1936 to 1939. Franco's nationalists, backed by Hitler's Germany and Mussolini's Italy, faced off against the Republicans, supported by the Soviet Union and international volunteers. Cities burned. Families were torn apart. One of the most infamous atrocities, the bombing of Guernica, was immortalized by Picasso's haunting painting. Franco emerged not just victorious, but absolute. On April 1, 1939, he declared the war over. Spain was now under his control. A dictatorship had begun. For the next 36 years, Franco ruled Spain as El Caudillo, the leader. He abolished political parties, suppressed dissent, and silenced opposition. Thousands were imprisoned. Tens of thousands were executed. Franco's Spain was ultra-conservative, Catholic, and militaristic. The regime promoted a singular vision of Spanish identity, rooted in tradition and nationalism, at the cost of regional cultures like Catalan and Basque. Though he kept Spain neutral in World War II, Franco's sympathies with the Axis powers were clear. After the war, Spain became a pariah state, isolated from much of the world. But as the Cold War deepened, that began to change. In the 1950s, the West began to see Franco as a bulwark against communism. Spain joined the United Nations in 1955. The US built military bases on Spanish soil in exchange for aid. Internally, Franco's grip remained firm. But the 1960s brought economic modernization, a growing middle class, and subtle liberalization. Yet, politically, Spain remained a dictatorship. Franco refused to name a successor from among democratic ranks. Instead, he reinstated the monarchy. On his terms. In 1969, Franco named Prince Juan Carlos as his heir, skipping over the prince's democratic-leaning father. Many expected Juan Carlos to continue Franco's authoritarian legacy. But on November 20, 1975, Franco died. And to the shock of many, the Spain he left behind did not descend into chaos, but transformed. King Juan Carlos led Spain into democracy, dismantling Franco's regime piece by piece. The transition was peaceful, but the wounds of the past ran deep. Franco remains a polarizing figure. To some, he was a stabilizing force who saved Spain from communism. To others, he was a brutal dictator who crushed freedom and left a trail of suffering. In 2019, his remains were exhumed from the Valley of the Fallen, a massive mausoleum built by political prisoners. Spain continues to grapple with his legacy. Francisco Franco Bahamonde. General. Ruler. Dictator. A man who shaped the fate of a nation, for better or for worse. This was his story. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more deep dives into history's most controversial figures. Thanks for watching.